Namaskar. Is Rahul Gandhi acting like a person who is the leader of the opposition party in India? What has he done? Well, there was a trip that he undertook to Ladakh that has raised a lot of eyebrows. This may come as a shocker to you if you understand the kind of people that he took to Ladakh, especially to disputed areas where even military perhaps has to have some procedures to get there. And this is what we are going to show you in a slide deck. A small request to all of you, as always, to please like this video. And if you have not subscribed to our channel, please kindly subscribe to our channel. Here we go. Who was Parshurama, who led a life of devotion, dedication, and daring? Why did he take birth on the earth? Was it to eradicate corrupt Kshatriya rulers who had become tyrannical and oppressive, or was it to bestow daya for the needy? The hidden guest on RaGa's Ladakh trip. You remember, viewers, that he had gone to Ladakh? Well, we'll go back to that timeline. He took a motorcycle trip in August 2023. He went across Ladakh in that month, and that month is supposed to be one of the best months for tourism in Ladakh. He visited sensitive locations, including the Pangong Tso lake and Khardung La. He rode a KTM 390 adventure, projecting the trip as an extension of the Bharat Jodo Yatra. A hidden angle under scrutiny involves three foreign nationals, including one with significant financial and political connections. No prizes for guessing who the person is connected with: George Soros. The names identified are Shakir Mohammed Nurali Merali, Kenyan, is a consultant; Sadiq Irfan Kimani Merali, a Kenyan student; Luigi Vinci, Italian consultant. Vinci is the name that Rahul Gandhi also uses. He has another Indian passport by the name of Raul Vinci. First of all, that is illegal to have two passports for the same person. He could be disqualified on that alone. Well, all entered India on tourist visas. These three people. They visited a sensitive military zone, Pangong Tso, and this is typically restricted to foreigners. Now, the question is, how did foreign nationals with global financial access to China border flashpoint alongside a prominent opposition leader? How did they get there? How did this even happen? Well, let's take a look at who are these individuals. First one, Shakir Mohammed Nurali Merali. He is currently a managing partner in Africa at Lightrock, a private equity firm with Soros-Linked capital origins. He is a former managing director of the Abraaj Group, a Dubai-based private equity fund founded by Pakistani businessman Arif Naqvi. Abraaj used to control a 66.4% stake in K Electric, Pakistan's largest power utility. At present, Abraaj, which is in liquidation, that is, this company, the Abraaj Group, no longer directly holds a stake in K Electric. The 66.4% majority stake is now held by a Cayman Islands registered entity called KES Power Limited, which is currently subject to a complex ownership dispute and an ongoing sales process. So you can see the other name, Shanghai Electric, is now coming in. Remember, I told you in a previous episode how Laos, owing 8 billion in dues to China, coughed up their entire controlling interest in their own power utility company. Now China runs it. So what else is Abraaj's Pakistan-China nexus? In 2016, there was an attempted deal to sell K Electric to Shanghai Electric Power, a Chinese state-owned company, for about $1.77 billion. The deal posed a strategic risk as it would have handed Chinese control over Karachi's critical power infrastructure. I am not surprised at all. Right now, all the international airports in Pakistan are believed to be under the control of China. China knows who's coming in and who's going out. Not only that, anything else. I think they manage the entire thing. They're probably handling it. They know exactly who's doing what. They might even go through the personal effects of some of the prominent names, including the failed marshal. Who knows? The deal ultimately failed due to geopolitical pressure and opposition from Pakistan regulatory authorities. The international reporting, that is Wall Street Journal, alleged Abraaj offered 20 million in bribes to Nawaz and Shehbaz Sharif in exchange for political cooperation. It's nothing new, right? Not only that, in March 2013, Bhutan Cricket Limited, controlled by Abraaj founder Arif Naqvi, received a 1.3 million investment from Abraaj Investment Management. The same day, the exact amount was transferred to Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf (PTI), that is the party of Imran Khan, into their bank account. Foreign corporate money is channeled into Pakistani political campaigns. At the time, Shakir held a senior leadership role managing the East Africa portfolio as part of the Abraaj operational ecosystem that also handled Pak-linked projects. Now, let's take a look at how this person is connected to Soros. Lightrock emerged from Aspada Investment Company, created and funded by Soros Economic Development Fund, SEDF. We'll be using this acronym. Anytime we use that, that means Soros Economic Development Fund. What's the timeline? In 2013, Aspada Investment Advisors Private Limited was established in Bengaluru to manage SEDF investments. In 2019, it was acquired by LGT, Liechtenstein-based, rebranded as Lightrock. In 2021, Lightrock and SEDF co-invested $50 million in Cap Float, now operating under the brand name Axio. These things are very common. Changing of startup funds. These are all ways in which you try to keep people guessing. Now, from Abraaj to Lightrock, what is the Soros connection? Result is now infrastructure and investor networks remain Soros built, and Soros funded Lightrock inherited that DNA. Shakir leads the African portfolio, but Lightrock retains joint investments with SEDF in India and emerging markets. So basically, Soros is becoming like the remote control for all these startup ventures funded by these companies. Not only that, Shakir's investment web overlaps with Chinese capital. The Mombasa-Nairobi railway electrification project in 2018 was a $240 million deal awarded to China Electric Power Equipment and Technology Company Limited. Operates in the same markets, that is Kenya, Tanzania, Uganda, where Shakir managed funds for Abraaj and now Lightrock. If you remember, I had a Kenyan guest who talked about the rail line to nowhere that was laid down by the Chinese in Kenya. Do go back and take a look at it. Shakir is an angel investor in Nairobi-based healthcare startup Ilara Health, which raised about $735,000 in seed funding from Shaka VC, a Chinese-backed venture fund. It has also come to our attention that Chinese firms control major power infrastructure across the markets where Shakir invests. There is a clear pattern of continued co-investment and market alignment with Chinese capital networks across Africa. In March 2025, the Enforcement Directorate raided 3 Bengaluru companies linked to Open Society Foundation and the SEDF, remember Soros Economic Development Foundation, for foreign exchange violations. Funds from SEDF were routed through Aspada into Indian startups without full compliance with FDI regulations. Interestingly, Lightrock Investment Advisors Private Limited, formerly Aspada, allegedly was not informed about certain SEDF-linked transactions. Very, very suspicious. See, here's the thing. These guys are very close to Rahul Gandhi, who himself is allegedly very close to Soros. What kind of financial web gimmicks are they playing in India? The same Soros-linked company, capital structure that created Lightrock, is now under Indian investigation. Now let's take a look at that incident in Pangong Tso in Ladakh. Pangong Tso, if you remember the 2020 dispute and the conflict along LAC, it lies in the line of actual control, a live tension point with China. Foreigners near the LAC are subject to strict oversight by Indian intelligence and the Home Ministry. Then the question that really comes up is, who is being really taken for a ride? Who cleared the presence of foreign nationals at a restricted border area? Do they have Judases inside the Modi administration? Did RaGa's team inform Indian authorities about their credentials? What was discussed during the trip? Political tourism or strategic networking? Or was it much more diabolical, like some sort of espionage where you go and take pictures of Indian side installations? Why invite a Soros-linked financier months before ED raids on Soros entities in India? They must have caught something that was brewing. Maybe they knew that they had, painted outside the lines and that there could be a raid anytime. Why combine Pak-linked, China-linked, and Soros-linked figures in the same orbit at Pangong Tso? That is the biggest question here. Mr. Rahul Gandhi has much to answer. As always, he will go and say something that is totally unrelated to all this stuff, even if you do asking the question. That is, if people have the temerity to ask questions. These days, asking questions in press conference itself has become a joke because somebody is always picking who shall be the one asking questions. And that means that anybody who asks a question, there is no guarantee that his question will be taken up and replied. Very sad state of affairs, I must say. Well, this is where we leave this. Please like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Don't forget to click on the bell button for notifications. Namaskar.